Good morning and happy Vlogmas day 10. So it's another morning of balancing coffee that I probably won't get to drink with two very playful kittens. One is now on the tripod. Don't knock that tripod. We have a beautiful blue sky behind us this morning, so usually we get a lovely blue sky after all the rain. There is a lot of beautiful green grass, so yeah, we got loads of lovely green grass here in Ireland after all the rain. So what have I to tell you this morning? So yesterday I had a fabulous day. I had the lovely Jenny Coughlin came to visit me. So there was a little snippet of Jenny saying hello yesterday. So Jenny is a fabulous sewing friend that I've made through the social Zooms. So she had a trip. Scrappy, stop. He just has to bark at them. Jenny's son had a bit of business over this part of the country yesterday, so she took a lift across the country and she came to visit, and we could have talked for hours. In fact, we did, Jenny, we did talk for hours, and we could have talked for so many hours as well. It's so fabulous to meet other sewing friends who have the same interests. Sewing machines, fabrics, patterns. It's just like, oh, we didn't have enough time. We could have done with another 3 hours to talk. So that was absolutely gorgeous. Oh my God. And then I spent the evening sewing with Karis, so that was really nice as well. That was really lovely. Her she calls her nanny. So, okay. They just bounce. Nanny, oh God, don't get out that door. My God, I certainly don't move as fast as a kitten. Her nanny turned 80 a couple of weeks ago, and there's a party for her this weekend, and of course lastminute.com with a present. I'm absolutely useless at buying presents for people, useless. So we were trying to think, what would you buy Nanny? Nanny she's a farming lady. She's 80 but still goes out farming. She's had loads of operations on her shoulders, her wrists, her elbows. She's an amazing woman, absolutely amazing. Just from our wear and tear and everything on her joints and things. So yeah, she's fabulous. She's the loveliest lady. And even though I am divorced from her son, she just treats me like, you know, I'm still her daughter-in-law. She is such a gorgeous lady. And yeah, so it's her birthday party this weekend. I'm not going. Karis is obviously going. We were trying to think of what to get her as a present. So Karis decided that she would make her a cardigan. So she made her a Harper cardigan, and it was really nice because I know that Nanny will just love it because Karis made it. She made it in red because Nanny loves red, and yeah, so that's almost done. The only thing she has to do is overlock where the band is attached to the front of the cardigan, so the band that goes around the neck. She just has to overlock that because she was sewing it before we had our social Zoom last night, and then she was sewing it during the Zoom, but she said she'd leave the overlocking because it was going to cause too much noise. Her overlocker is really noisy. So that's all she has to do, and then a final press, and she's going to put a tag on the back of it. One of the, I'm not sure, I think there's a little rosy cheeks one that she likes to put on the back of it. I think saying today is a good day. I think that's a really nice one. And yeah, so that we did that yesterday. I was gutted yesterday as well because I have really bad mobile coverage in this house. So we're quite low here from the road, and we're also surrounded by an awful lot of trees. So our mobile coverage is just a disaster. So if somebody calls us, it's a miracle if the phone rings. And yet what normally happens then is that when I go to the post office, I go out the gate, obviously, I leave the area of bad coverage, and I get a load of text to say, this number tried to call you, number tried to call you, yada, it's pain. So I had missed a call from a number yesterday, and they tried to call me twice. So I called them back, and it was actually the radiology department calling me to say that they had a cancellation for next Tuesday for an appointment, and was I available. And so I have had this ongoing problem with my shoulder. I'm kind of telling this story back to front, but that's kind of the way I roll. I've had this ongoing problem. I've had a tendon tear here and I have bursitis here in the top of my shoulder just from, I just wear and tear. And being a short person, doing a lot of stretching and all that, I put it down to short-itis. So I had an MRI back in April, the 6th of April actually, she reminded me. And I've been waiting for an appointment since for an injection. I don't particularly know what the injection is going to do, but apparently it has to be administered with the help of ultrasound so that it goes into the right place. And apparently it's going to give me good relief. So it's my right shoulder. I have very limited movement, so I can't put my arm behind my back, hence why I can't zip up skirts, dresses, do my bra up, get the seatbelt from the car, all different sorts of things. Sometimes I have different movement limitations, so I can't reach across the table for things. And I'm very awkward, like getting things out of boxes and things. So I can't raise my shoulder properly. Yeah, it's really weird. Very weird, the limitations to it. But anyway, I missed the opportunity to have the injection next Tuesday. So when I didn't answer the phone, they gave it to somebody else, which is understandable. And in fairness, they tried to ring me twice. So I was gutted about that. So I did give them, I have a house number as well. I gave them that. I don't know why the doctor didn't give them that. I don't know why I give my mobile number to anybody, to be perfectly honest, because it's so crap. But I gave them my landline number and I just said, you know, to put a note on it to say to call the landline number, because I'm rarely out of the house. But anyway, yeah, I missed that. I was gutted. So they said that they've no more appointments before Christmas, but they'll fit me in the new year. So I kind of felt, well, at least I'm getting further to the top of the list. So that's good. They can only do what they can do. So yeah, that was that. The barking has begun again. So yeah, today is another work day. It's not a normal day, in fact. Today I am going to list all the remnants that I measured the other day on the website this morning. I'm also going to cut some more knickers kits because I got a delivery yesterday of Tilly and the Buttons, the iris pattern. So I kind of thought the iris pattern and some knickers kits could make some nice presents to like fellow sewists. I think that'd be nice. And then that's what I'm going to do. And then I have a mother and daughter coming today to try on some Irish dancing dresses that I have here. So before Beyond the Pink Door was born, I was making Irish dancing dresses. I would make bespoke ones to people's designs, and then in the quieter time, so kind of off season, I would make a range of ready to wear ones. So if somebody needed one last minute, or some child went through a growth spurt and all of a sudden needed a dress, because they're made it very fitted and quite short. So, I mean, some girls can just grow overnight and then they put on a dress and it's too short. People don't generally want to alter them too much because it devalues them. So I've had this range of ready-to-wear dresses that people can just come try on and buy if they fit. So they're coming today to have a look to see what I have, and I'll be totally honest, I can't remember what I have, so I have to go and pull them out. They're going to be here around 12 o'clock. So I have to go and take out all the dresses. I have no idea what I have. But they've looked at my Facebook page and they've seen a few that they like. So that's quite good. So it's a varied day. And then tonight, we have a very exciting trip to Dublin Airport at, quite late tonight. Jason has a flight in tonight at, I think he's arriving around 11:30. So that is quite late. I don't mind that though, because the traffic is actually quite, there won't be a lot of traffic, basically, so we'll shoot home fairly fast. We'll put the Mini into sports mode and we'll just rock the motorway. I wish. And so Jason works away and is only home here maybe every second weekend, or he tries to get here for a week every so often, so that's really great. So I can't wait to see him later. And we have a few plans for tomorrow. So he has basically a flying visit. He's in very late tonight and then out again on Sunday. So, but you know what, we'll make the most of the time. We've already talked about all the things we want to do on Saturday, which includes putting up the real Christmas trees. We can't wait for that. That'll be great fun. I have to tidy all the hall now. I have a good bit done since the non-internet day. But I still have some more sorting out to do. So yeah, I'm going to crack on with that. I'm going to get back to drinking the lukewarm coffee. I've now got a kitten on my lap, purring away, and I'm wearing my other viola top today. I was so cozy in the navy one yesterday, really cozy. So I'm in my burnt orange one today. I really love this colour. Really love this colour. So that's all. I think you can probably see all the pleat details better on this colour. It's so nice. So yeah, so I'm going to crack on with the day. Loads to do. It's going to be a long one. I can't promise to do any more filming today unless there's a bit of kitty cat movement. Isn't that right? Isn't that right, Windy? Minty? Windy. I get mixed up between Wanda and Mindy, and then I call one of them Windy. Windy and Mandy. It's very confusing. Oh my god. So yeah, check in with you later. So I just took out my reel of dresses. Talk about a blast from the past. And I've just put one on a mannequin because I thought you might like to see what Irish dancing dresses are like, and a little insight into what I used to make. So what I'm going to show you now is one of my own designs, which is one of my off-the-rail dresses. And it's not your typical Irish dancing dress because Irish dancing dresses are very fashion focused. So this is the dress. So you can see it almost from a distance looks like there's a little jacket over a skirt. It's very form-fitting. It's got a wide skirt and it draws emphasis to the waist. So this would fit, say, your average 15-year-old. What I had was I worked out a spreadsheet for different sizes. So I had a block drawn for a 9, a 7, a 9, 11, 13 and 15-year-old. And they were generally all falling into the same kind of sizes. So as I would measure girls over maybe my first year in business, I did their bust, their waist, their hips, their lengths, all the different measurements. And then I correlated patterns that when a 15-year-old might come in, I would take out the 15-year-old pattern. There was like a regular and there was a shorter. So if the 15-year-old was a little bit shorter or a little bit taller, and honestly, like some of the 13-year-olds could go into the 15-year-old pattern, but you know what I mean? I had a regular size, a short size and a tall size. And I rarely had to deviate from those blocks once I had drawn them. So this one is made from my 15-year-old regular block. So as I move the camera now, you might be able to see it glitter. So the dress for the girl, well, it's a costume for the girl, is a dress that will do her for a year. And that might sound outrageous because they're quite expensive dresses, but they are only going to fit the girl for a year while she grows. So they have to be made tight to the dancer so that when it's on the dancer, it doesn't keep moving around, and particularly the skirt, that it doesn't keep moving around. When they do their high kicks, their skirt has to be short enough so that it's comfortable to do that, and it's made properly so that it falls straight back down again after they do their kicks. It's such a sport. It's not just a dance. So I'm sure you're all familiar with watching Irish dances on like Riverdance and whatever. So yeah, they're made so that they fit the girl and they don't keep moving. So it's a very simple dress to do alterations to, because the alterations are done at the back of the zip. So say if the girl slims down for whatever reason, extra practice, more dancing, whatever, we just take it in down the zip. And that's because the dress is so highly crystalled that if you were to make any alterations around the front, it would involve taking out crystals, damaging the dress. So the alterations are done down the back. And like that, if a girl grew taller and grew a little bit broader at her shoulders, then the dress would be let out at the back. There's actually a seam there between the body and the skirt. There's a V seam there. And again, if the girl gets tall, that seam gets picked out and the body is made longer and then reattached back to the skirt. So underneath that front piece of embroidery is extra embroidery tucked in under. So if the dress needs to be made longer, there's embroidery there again to attach. So try to make it as seamless and as easy as possible. So I'll just give you a little look at, say, the construction of the dress. So when making an Irish dancing dress, it's made completely different to making a form-fitting dress for yourself. So an Irish dancer has a posture where her shoulders are back and her arms are down at her side, but not in line with her body. They're pushed back towards her back. So an Irish dancing dress then is made wider here at the front, narrower at the back, and the sleeves are actually put in backwards to the way that we're used to, because she needs more room here at the front of the sleeve and less at the back. So you can see when I put my shoulder back, I've got all this extra fabric. So that extra fabric is not in an Irish dancing dress. So it is essentially like you're putting in your sleeve back to front. And it's made like that so that when the zip gets pulled up on the back of the dress, her arms are automatically pulled back. So yeah, that was a really interesting thing to learn when I started making these. So the body is completely embroidered and crystalled, and then I'll just give you a look at the skirt. So you can see the skirt comes from the body and goes out at an angle, and you can just about probably see the join there. So when I'm doing the digitizing for the embroidery, it's done here in such a way that it joins up to the embroidery on the skirt. Now that took me ages to learn how to do. Now obviously when the skirt gets, or when the body gets dropped down, the embroidery won't match up perfectly, but it'll match up close enough. And then it's quite a stiff skirt, so that's just to do with the dancing. It's got a board underneath, and this board is made from 3 layers of pelmet cardboard, and it's got a little bit of tulle so that when the skirt pops up when she's dancing, it gives a little flash of another colour. So that's the front board. And then the back board there's just 1 layer, so it's a little bit lighter. So the front of the dress is extremely important, because that's the first glimpse that a judge will have of a dancer, basically. So the girls go out dancing, generally 3 on a stage, and there will be from between 3 and 5 judges, just depending on how big the competition is. So this is her first impression. So this is, the front of the dress, and then the back of this dress is just a little bit different. Again, there's a lot of room left in the back there, so that, I mean, she'll never expand to that size, and if she did, then the dress wouldn't fit her properly, but I would always leave that in. And then you can imagine when the zip is done up on this dress, there's a bit of emphasis brought here to the waist again. So the last kind of fashion with the Irish dancing dresses is that the back would be slightly different to the front, and that is so that it's all about keeping the attention of the judge on the dancer. So as the dancer does her twists and turns and kicks and whatever, that, you know, if there's another flash of colour or there's another little bit of flash of interest, it'll bring the judge's eye maybe from another dancer back to this dancer. So it's all about keeping the attention of the judge on the dancer. And the dress is also made in such a way that, say, the dancer's strong points or the dancer's weak points would be either accentuated or kind of concealed. So, say if a girl has really good, like, shoulder posture, then more emphasis would be brought, say, to the shoulders of the dress. And again, if she's a little bit of like a sloucher, less emphasis would be brought to the shoulders, because any little bit of interest in the dress brings the judge's eye to that particular area, and if that's not a good point, then that's not a place on the dress that you want to show emphasis, if that makes sense. And as well as that, this dress here has a different colour on the sleeves. So this would be ideal for a girl who has really good shoulder posture. So this will be one of her really good attributes that she wants to show to the judge. And she would have really good arms, because sometimes when the dancers move and they kick, they move their arm in a way to keep them balanced. So if some girl may have like a left arm that moves out, or a right arm, and very hard to train the arm. So you can imagine if the sleeve is made in a different colour, if she had a tendency to move her arms, whereas that is part of the Irish dancing, that your arms stay as stiff as a board basically, and they don't move. So if she has a wobbly arm, we wouldn't put the sleeve in a different colour, because that would again like draw the attention. But if she has say like some sort of leg or step problem but has really good arms, then this would be the ideal dress, because this would draw the judge's attention up to the shoulders and the arms and the posture, and maybe distract from other kind of, you know, little parts that she has to work on. So it's really interesting. It's not just a dress, it's actually made in such a way that it makes the dancer feel confident, and that it will show off her good points and kind of slightly, you know, hide the bad points that she feels she has to work on. So yeah, so this is the way that I would make the off the rail dresses. So it's fully finished at the front, and then the back, as you could see there, it has no zip in it. It's not got no crystals on the back. So what I would do with this dress is, the girl today now will try on a few dresses. She'll try on this one and say if they decide to buy this one. The end of the sleeve isn't finished, so there's no hem on that. I would pin up that sleeve to the correct length. I would check that the length of the skirt was correct, because there's a fine point, there's a certain length that they want it from, say, the top of their knee up, and it all depends on what school they dance with, which organisation they're in, and yeah, just teachers' preferences, whatever. And what I would do then is, if they decide they're going to buy it, I would pin along the back there to how it's comfortable on her. Now, what I would normally do in my days of Irish dancing, I would actually put in a zip here while they were here, and then we would check it, and then they would go off basically, and I would finish the dress, not on the same day, but I would finish the dress within, say, the coming week, so finish all the other bits. I would always put a lining into my dresses. Not all the Irish dancing dresses are lined, but I would do that because you can't wash these dresses. You can spot clean them. You can put like pads under the arms so that, you know, they don't get too sweaty, but basically you can't dry clean them because the crystals are on with glue, and if they get dry cleaned or they get washed, then the glue is water soluble, and basically you'll end up with a washing machine full of crystals and a bald dress again, and I've seen it happen. So yeah, they're not really cleanable. I think there are maybe some specialist dry cleaners who will clean, but I'm not entirely sure about that. But yeah, I would always put a lining into them so that, you know, if a girl was particularly sweaty, and they're in their teenage years, that when they go to sell the dress, they could take the lining out, and we can freshen up the inside of it, say with like baby wipes or spot cleaning. I would always suggest as well to a mother to put, say, a dry cleaner, not a dry cleaner, but you know, the drying sheets, the bounce sheets. I would always say to them, when they're finished dancing, they bring the dress home, that they give it a little once over when they come home, and that they would tuck in some drying sheets into the armpits, and that kind of soaks up any moisture that might be there, and it keeps the dress fresh as well. So yeah, I would take out the lining for them if they felt they needed that to sell the dress, and we put in a brand new lining, and then it looks nice and fresh again, and then it's all nice and fresh for somebody who buys it. Because it's really not a nice idea of buying a second-hand dress that's very sweaty, and I mean, they can't help but sweat. Yeah, that's too much to talk about sweat, but anyway. So yeah, then what we would normally do is finish it, put the zip in, crystal it off, and if they wanted to come back and collect it and try it on again, then that's lovely. Or some people might have to travel a distance, and if they did that, then I would just courier it off to them. So I hope that was of interest, and I'm actually really looking forward to seeing this dress on the girl. I think this one will fit her, so it'll be interesting to see it on her. It'll be really nice. So yeah, I'll check in with you again later. So I'm here in my sewing room, and I am joined by kitten number 1 and kitten number 2. I'm making my Billy sweatshirt out of the Atelier Brunette cream sweatshirting. And I'm up here really to kind of de-stress, to be honest, because Jason had to do a PCR test in order to fly, which is the law at the moment. And he is now about a half an hour away from the airport, just sitting in some service area, waiting, because he hasn't had the results yet. So you have to send them off 72 hours minimum before you fly, or is it maximum? Anyway, it's 72 hours before you fly, and then you have to wait for a negative result in order to fly. So his test is being processed at the moment and he's just waiting on the results. So I am sure wherever the testing goes on, I'm sure they're up the walls, stressed, trying to get everybody's tests back. It's a pre-test PCR or pre-flight PCR, so I'm assuming they know what time his flight is. So we're again assuming that they're done on a time of flight basis. So yeah, you just have to wait and wait. It's very stressful. Very stressful. He's very stressed. I'm not surprised. He's after, like, you know, the whole day stressing, wondering when are the results going to pop into the app, and then driving on the off chance that they will arrive so that he can fly. It's just brutal. It's just absolutely brutal. I'm sure they are really like under pressure doing the PCR test, but it's really difficult. So I am going to do a little bit of sewing and just basically wait for good news. God. Well, the update is that Jason didn't get his PCR test results in time, so I won't see him this weekend. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't really know what to say. So disappointed. He's so disappointed. Just he did all he could. He waited at the airport. Waited. And no results. So he's on his way back from the airport now again. So a complete wasted day for him, stressing out about everything. So yeah, scary times we're living in. And yeah. So I made my Billy sweatshirt. I made Jason a pair of Christmas boxer shorts that I'm not going to show you. And I also started on a blouse. I'm making the Frida blouse, the Atelier Jupe Frida blouse, and I'm just making this because I had it cut out and it was just whiling away the time while I waited for Jason to say whether he was going to be able to come or not. So I'm making it out of this remnant of Atelier brunette, and again I'm making it because I didn't have to change any machines for any colours. So I have a really sore back because one of the kittens, who will remain nameless, jumped on the back of my chair and landed on my back with the claws in. It's very sore, very sore. So they've had a little sleep and now they're full of energy again. So I'm going to bring them downstairs and then I am going to put on my pajamas, sit down with my knitting, and yeah, if we've got something to drink, I'm definitely up for a Bailey's if there's one down there. Yeah. So I'll edit this video and upload it, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. Bye.